Emma thought the newest iPhone would change her life. But she never imagined the price she'd pay, a price no store could ever refund. Welcome Tales by Lima. Please like, share and subscribe. Emma Bennett had always been the quiet type, the kind of girl who blended into the background even when she desperately wished she didn't. She was 22, working part-time at a small clothing store, and doing everything she could to stay afloat while finishing her business marketing degree. But there was one thing she wanted more than anything that year. The newest iPhone. It wasn't just a phone to her. It was a symbol. A symbol of finally belonging, of catching up to the world, of stepping into a version of herself she always imagined, confident, stylish, noticeable. Everywhere she looked, someone had one. At school, girls took mirror selfies with them. At work, customers paid with the sleek devices like it was nothing. And on social media, every influencer seemed to be holding one in every single video. Emma wasn't jealous, not exactly. She just felt left behind, outdated, invisible. One evening, after a long shift folding clothes and watching customers walk out with bags far more expensive than anything in her closet, Emma sat on her bed and whispered to herself. Maybe this phone, maybe it's finally time. She didn't have the money. Her savings barely covered emergency needs. But the desire kept tugging at her chest. That night, she stared at the phone's price online, and for a moment, her heart sank. It was completely out of reach. That is, until the next morning when something unexpected happened. A customer walked into the store, a woman around 30, graceful, confident, expensive perfume trailing behind her. She browsed quietly until she approached Emma, smiling politely. "You have a nice personality," the woman said. "What's your name?" "Emma," she replied, shy but professional. "I'm Claire," the woman said warmly. "I run an online fashion business. And I might have an opportunity for someone like you, someone who wants to earn a little more." Emma's heart skipped. Claire continued, "It's simple work. You'll get paid well." "Very well." Emma didn't understand why a stranger would pick her for anything, but her heartbeat quickened, because all she could think was, "This could be my chance. This could be how I finally get that phone." But Emma didn't know, not yet, that every opportunity comes with a price. And some prices don't show up on receipts. Claire invited Emma to sit with her during her lunch break. They found a small table near the back of the mall, quiet, isolated, the kind of place where people spoke softly. Claire didn't rush. She spoke like someone who knew people's weaknesses, someone who understood exactly what Emma wished for. "You're hardworking," Claire said, stirring her drink. "But you're not earning what you deserve. I can tell." Emma swallowed. How did this woman see so much in her so quickly? Claire leaned forward. "Tell me something, Emma. If you had extra money, what would you buy first?" Emma hesitated. Would it sound childish? Materialistic? Silly? She whispered, "A new phone, the latest iPhone." Claire smiled knowingly, a smile that made Emma feel seen and embarrassed at the same time. "Well," Claire said, "with what I pay my assistants, you could buy that phone, easily." Those words echoed in Emma's mind like a dream she wasn't ready to wake up from. "But what would I be doing?" Emma asked cautiously. Claire tapped her polished nails against the table. "Just picking up packages and dropping them off. Simple. Legal. Clean. You won't be involved in anything complicated. You'll just be helping me manage deliveries." Emma didn't notice the vague wording. She didn't notice how Claire avoided specifics. She didn't notice that her promises came too easily. She only noticed the part where she said, "You could buy that phone, easily." Emma's heart fluttered. Every logical thought tried to warn her, but she pushed them aside. "Think about it," Claire said. "You can start any time. Before leaving, Claire placed a sleek business card on the table. Claire Hayden. Consultant. Logistics Manager. Opportunities. The card looked real, professional, trustworthy. That night, Emma lay awake staring at the card. Her imagination ran wild. The iPhone. The confidence. The feeling of finally belonging. She whispered to herself, maybe this is safe. Maybe this is exactly what I need. And so, the next morning, with a hopeful heart and a shaky hand, Emma sent Claire a message. I'm interested. When can we start? She didn't know that message would change her life. Not in the way she hoped. But in a way she would never forget. Claire replied instantly. Meet me tomorrow at 10 a.m. Wear something simple. Bring your ID. Emma didn't think too much about it. Companies asked for ID all the time, right? She arrived early at the small cafe Claire chose, a quiet corner cafe far from the busy side of town. Claire sat at the window already, dressed in a stylish black jacket, sipping a latte like someone used to being in control. You're punctual, Claire said, smiling. I like that. She handed Emma a small sealed envelope. This is your first task. There's an address written inside. You'll pick up a package, bring it to me, and that's it. You'll earn enough today to get that phone you want. Emma blinked. In one day? Claire nodded casually, like it was normal. That's when a tiny spark of fear flickered inside Emma's chest. Just a spark, small enough to ignore. But then Claire added something that made Emma pause. Don't open the package. Don't ask questions. Just deliver it to me. Straight and simple. Emma felt her stomach tighten. Is it safe? She asked nervously. Claire didn't answer immediately. She didn't reassure her. She simply picked up her coffee, took a slow sip, and said. If you want the life you dream of, Emma, you'll have to step out of the life you're used to. Do you trust me? Emma hesitated. She saw the reflection of herself in the cafe window, tired eyes, worn-out clothes, a girl trying so hard to rise above her circumstances. She wanted more. She wanted better. She wanted that phone, and everything it symbolized. With a deep breath, Emma nodded slowly. I trust you. Claire smiled, too easily. Too calmly. Good, she said. Because once you start, stopping won't be easy. Emma didn't understand what that meant yet. But she would. Sooner than she expected. As she walked out of the cafe holding the envelope, the weight in her hand felt heavier than paper. It felt like a choice. A turning point. A step into a world she wasn't prepared for. And somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice whispered. This isn't just about a phone anymore. But Emma pushed that voice aside. She had already taken the first step. And there was no undoing it. Slow burn suspense, emotional depth, global appeal. Emma held the sealed envelope like it was a fragile secret. She walked fast, her heartbeat louder with each step, her palms slightly sweaty. She had never done anything like this. She was the kind of girl who followed rules, paid her bills late but honestly, preferred silence over trouble. But today, she felt like she had stepped into someone else's life, a braver, bolder version of herself. When she reached the address inside the envelope, she hesitated. It was a quiet residential street, far from the busy town center. Not dangerous, but unusually silent. The kind of silence that made you hear your own thoughts too clearly. A man opened the door before she knocked. Middle-aged. Neutral expression. No smile. No questions. He simply handed her a small black box, unmarked, taped, light. You're Claire's girl? He asked. Emma froze. Why yes. He nodded once. Good. Deliver it quickly. Then he closed the door, almost too fast. Emma stood there in shock. Something felt off, wrong, but she didn't have the experience to name it. As she walked away, she tried to steady her breathing. Maybe it's just business, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe it's normal. Her thoughts were interrupted by a message from Claire. Bring it to the cafe. And Emma, don't talk to anyone on your way. Her chest tightened. Why would Claire send a message like that? Was she being watched? Was she being tested? Emma didn't know. She just quickened her pace, clutching the box close to her stomach, trying not to attract attention. But she didn't know that at that very moment, someone across the street, someone she never noticed, lifted a phone and snapped a picture of her. She wouldn't learn that until much later. For now, all she felt was the increasing weight of the box, and the sinking feeling that she was in far deeper than she understood. Claire was already waiting for her at the cafe, calm, elegant, sipping tea as if nothing in the world could trouble her. Emma placed the black box on the table. For the first time, Claire's smile faded. She didn't look at Emma, she looked at the box with sharp, calculating eyes. Good, Claire whispered. Very good. She slid her phone out and transferred the payment immediately. Emma's phone buzzed. She looked down, and her heart almost stopped. It was more money than she had ever seen in her account at once. Enough for the iPhone. Enough for groceries for weeks. Enough to breathe. Her mouth went dry. This is too much, she murmured. Claire shook her head. It's not even close to what you're worth. Emma didn't know whether to feel flattered, or frightened. Emma, Claire said softly, you did well today. You followed instructions. You stayed calm. And most importantly, you didn't ask unnecessary questions. Emma swallowed hard. She hadn't even realized that mattered. You see, Claire continued, the world works differently when you're useful. When you're loyal. When you're discreet. Emma felt a chill run through her. Is this legal? She asked carefully. Claire smiled again, the kind of smile that answered nothing. Do you want that phone or not? She asked gently. Emma froze. That wasn't the answer she expected. And for the first time, the iPhone didn't feel like a dream anymore. It felt like a trap, a shiny one. She nodded slowly. I want it. Then stay focused, Claire said. Do your job. Everything will be fine. But as Emma walked home with the money in her wallet, something dark and heavy pressed on her chest. She kept replaying the man's face. The way he didn't smile. The way he closed the door quickly. The way Claire reacted to the box. And yet. Emma ordered the phone that night. She clicked, by now, her hands trembling. Part excitement. Part fear. Part denial. She convinced herself everything was okay, that people did side jobs all the time, that she was finally stepping into a better life. But deep down, in the quietest corner of her mind, she knew. You don't get big money for small tasks. Not in the real world. 2 days later, Emma woke up to the sound of her doorbell. She hurried to the door and found the delivery man smiling politely. Package for Emma Bennett. Her heart leaped. Her iPhone had arrived. For a moment, everything felt right. Normal. Exciting. She unboxed the phone carefully, the smooth glass, the polished silver edges, the flawless screen. It felt like holding a new version of herself. She took pictures. Recorded small videos. Smiled at her reflection. For the first time in a long time, she felt seen. But the moment didn't last. Just an hour later, her phone buzzed with a new message. She assumed it was Claire with another task. But when she opened it, her entire body went cold. It wasn't from Claire. It was from an unknown number. And it contained one single image. An image of her, standing outside the house where she picked up the black box. Package in hand. Face fully visible. Below it was a message. We need to talk. You're in the wrong business, Emma. Her hands shook uncontrollably. Her breath turned shallow. Fear, real fear, spread through her like ice. Someone was watching her. Someone knew what she did. Someone was reaching out. She tried calling Claire, no answer. She tried texting her, delivered, but no reply. And slowly, painfully, the realization sank in. Whatever she stepped into, she was no longer in control of it. Not even a little. Emma stared at the photo on her brand new phone, the phone she wanted so badly. And for the first time, she asked herself, was this worth it? But the consequences were only just beginning. Dark tension, emotional depth, psychological realism, professional pacing. Emma stared at the message on her new phone until her vision blurred. We need to talk. You're in the wrong business, Emma. Her heart pounded like it was trying to break free from her chest. Who sent this? How did they know her name? Why were they watching her? Her fingers trembled as she typed back. Who is this? No response. The silence made everything worse. It wrapped around her like a cold fog. She tried Claire again, calling, texting, calling again, but it was as if Claire had vanished from the world. Her phone felt heavy in her hand now. Not like a dream come true. But like evidence. Emma's thoughts spiraled. What was in the black box? Was she being used? Was she now part of something illegal without knowing? She felt sick. She paced her small living room, shaking, replaying every moment with Claire, trying to understand how she missed the warning signs. 10 minutes later, her phone buzzed again. Another message. But this time, it wasn't a picture. It was a location, a pin on a map, and a short line of text. Be here by 6 p.m. Come alone. Emma's stomach dropped. Her instinct screamed, don't go. But another voice whispered. What if not going puts you in more danger? What if this person already knows where you live? Her breathing became uneven. She sank onto the couch, hugging herself tightly. She didn't want trouble. She didn't want danger. She just wanted a phone, a chance to feel equal, a little confidence. But now she was in something she couldn't define, couldn't escape, couldn't even explain. At 5:30 p.m., with shaky legs and a racing pulse, Emma put on her jacket and stepped out into the evening. Every shadow looked suspicious. Every stranger seemed to be watching her. Every sound made her flinch. She wasn't brave, she was terrified. But she knew one thing. Whatever this was, running wouldn't save her. Not anymore. The location led her to an old parking lot near an unused warehouse, wide, empty, and unsettlingly quiet. The place looked abandoned for years. Graffiti covered the walls. Broken lights flickered dimly. The air smelled like wet concrete and metal. Emma's throat tightened. She checked the time, 5:59 p.m. She was exactly on time. Her hands shook as she stood in the open, heart thudding in her ears, expecting someone to jump out from the shadows. At 6:01 p.m., she heard footsteps behind her. She spun around, and gasped. A man stepped out from behind a pillar. Tall. Clean-cut. Wearing a dark jacket. Not threatening, but serious. His voice was calm, steady. Emma Bennett? Her legs nearly gave out. Why, yes. He nodded slightly and reached into his jacket. Emma froze in fear. But he didn't pull out a weapon. He pulled out a badge. A real badge. I'm Detective Ryan Carter. We've been monitoring Claire Hayden for months. Emma's mouth fell open. Detective Carter continued softly, and yesterday, you delivered something very important to her. Something dangerous. Emma's heart stopped. And no, she whispered. I didn't know, I didn't open, she told me, I didn't mean. I know, the detective said. His voice wasn't harsh, it was almost sympathetic. We saw the picture someone sent you. That wasn't us. Which means Claire knows we're getting close. And you're the one caught in the middle. Emma felt faint. Am I in trouble? She whispered. Ryan looked at her carefully. You're not the target. But you are connected to her now. And that makes you valuable, to both sides. Emma's skin crawled. Both sides, she echoed. He sighed. People like Claire don't operate alone. They're part of a network. And once they use someone, they never let them go easily. Emma's knees buckled slightly. Detective Carter continued. You need to listen very carefully, Emma. Because the next decision you make will determine what happens to you next. The world around her seemed to tilt. Her breath became shallow. Fear wrapped around her like cold water. What do you want me to do? She whispered. The detective met her eyes with a steady, serious gaze. Help us bring Claire down. Emma's breath caught in her throat. She wasn't ready for this. She didn't want any of this. She just wanted a phone, a normal life, safety. But now her life wasn't hers anymore. It was a chess piece on someone else's board. The warehouse parking lot felt colder now. The wind bit at Emma's skin. Her legs trembled beneath her. She stared at Detective Carter, trying to understand the magnitude of what he just asked. I can't, Emma whispered. I'm not strong enough for this. I'm not brave. I just wanted a phone. I didn't know anything. Carter nodded calmly. I believe you. And I'm not asking you to do anything dangerous. Emma looked at him, almost pleadingly. He continued. But Claire thinks she owns you now. That makes you vulnerable. Emma's blood ran cold. She might contact you again, he said. She might test you. She might use you. But if you work with us, we'll protect you every step of the way. Emma wrapped her arms around herself, shaking. What if she finds out? She whispered. Detective Carter held her gaze. She won't. You'll simply act normal. Calm. Loyal. And when she slips, we'll be ready. Emma felt like she couldn't breathe. How did I end up here? She whispered. Good people get caught in bad situations, Carter said softly. That doesn't make you guilty. Emma closed her eyes, fighting tears. Her life had collapsed into chaos in just days, all because she wanted something everyone else had. When she opened her eyes, she whispered. What happens if I say no? The detective didn't hesitate. Then you walk away tonight, and you handle Claire on your own. Emma felt the weight of that sentence crush her. Claire. The mysterious packages. The strangers watching. The photo. The danger. She couldn't survive that alone. She wasn't built for crime, or secrets, or running. She was just Emma. A girl who made one desperate choice. Her voice trembled. Okay. I'll help you. Detective Carter nodded, relief flickering across his face. Good. Then listen closely. Starting tonight, you do exactly what you normally would. If Claire reaches out, you respond like nothing is wrong. Emma nodded, terrified. And Emma, he added softly, no matter what she asks you to do, you tell us first. We'll guide you. Her throat tightened. She wasn't brave. She wasn't ready. But there was no turning back. Detective Carter stepped back into the shadows. We'll be watching. You're safe. And just like that, he disappeared. Emma stood alone in the empty parking lot, shaking, the cold wind brushing against her face. Met Claire, she felt safe. Detective Carter walked in, his expression softer than before. "It's over," he said. "Claire's been arrested. The operation has been shut down. And the evidence you gave us helped protect a lot of innocent people." Emma exhaled a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. A single tear rolled down her cheek, relief, exhaustion, everything at once. "I didn't mean to get involved," she whispered. "I was just desperate." Carter nodded. "Desperation blinds good people. But what matters is you stepped out of it before it consumed you." Emma looked down at the iPhone in her hands, the object that started everything. It didn't feel shiny anymore. It felt heavy. A reminder of who she could have become. Versus who she chose to be. She turned to Carter. "What do I do now?" He smiled lightly. "Start over. But this time, start with yourself, not with something you think will make you matter." Emma nodded, holding the phone one last time before placing it on the desk. "I don't need it anymore," she said quietly. "Not like this." She stood up, walked out of the station, and stepped into the gentle morning breeze. The sky was a pale gold, new, calm, and soft. For the first time in weeks, Emma felt free. Not because she owned something new, but because she finally understood her worth had never been for sale. As she walked down the quiet street, the sun rising behind her, the world didn't feel heavy anymore. It felt open. It felt possible. It felt like a second chance. One she was finally ready to build from the ground up. Moral of the story. Desperation can make the wrong choices look harmless, even attractive. But real value doesn't come from shortcuts, quick cash, or shiny objects. It comes from patience, hard work, and knowing that your worth isn't defined by what you own, but by who you are. Sometimes the most expensive things in life are the ones we think are free. Thank you for watching this powerful story. If Emma's journey moved you, then remember this. Every decision we make sends us down a path. And sometimes, one small choice can change everything. Tell me in the comments. What would you have done in Emma's situation? Your answer might inspire someone else. If you love this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this message today. More life-changing stories coming your way. Until then, stay safe, stay wise, and stay true to who you are.